Hi, and welcome to Vlog 54, where we introduce the Techno Dinosaur and the IT Geek. I'm David Logan, based here in Annan, southwest Scotland, based in UK. We're going global. It's technology. With me today, as the IT Geek, I take the complexity, the jargon out of technology for you, the home worker. With me today is my normal culprit, my normal partner, Wally Nicol, over here. So Wally, how are you and where are you?
I'm very well, David. Obviously a lot better than you, by the way. However, I'm Willie Nicol, the Techno Dinosaur, but I'm also a personal development life coach. I'm based in Troon, South Asia, Scotland, UK. So, David, I have to ask you, have you been boxing again?
These things happen when I try to do somersaults on the stairs.
Ah,
I misstepped, and next thing I knew, I was flat on the floor. Thankfully, I was carrying no clear equipment, and
good.
thankfully, it was a carpet at the bottom. So I'm still alive and kicking.
Splendid.
These things happen. I just wish I had a few beers. It would have made the story a bit better. Right, my turn this week, Willie, to give you a question. A lot of people struggle with confidence. Probably no more than myself in certain topics. How can we improve that confidence? How can we gain that confidence?
That's a very good question, David. This is something that's come up for me in a coaching sense more and more often. So, what is confidence? If you Google it or you look at a dictionary, is it self-esteem? Is it self-belief? Is it faith in yourself and your abilities? Confidence is based on a Latin word called fidere, which is a verb which means to trust. So confidence is trust in ourselves or trust in a situation that everything will work out okay. So where do we get confidence from? You could argue that we're either born with it or we learn it. I subscribe to a wee bit of both, right? We are probably going to suffer from a lack of confidence when we're in unfamiliar territory. We're out of our comfort zone. We're doing something that we haven't done before or done very, very little of. But just think back to when you were a kid and you started riding a bike. You probably weren't very confident then. But eventually, through practice and keeping at it, you became confident and you ride your bike no problem. Similarly, later in life, you probably weren't confident when you got behind the wheel of a car for the first time. But you learned, you probably had an instructor or a member of your family, and the more you learned, the more confident you became, the more at ease you became in that situation, and you passed your driving test, and now we drive without even thinking about it. So in that kind of scenario, or these kind of scenarios, we say we learned from experience, and we became confident in that environment because we did it and did it and did it again till we got to a level of competence. So if we can do that, riding a bike or learning to drive, we can apply the same principles in virtually every situation. But again, as I say, if we're unfamiliar with that particular situation, it's possible we'll suffer a lack of confidence. Now, apart from just learning and learning and doing it and doing it and doing it, we often forget a number of things, right? We forget that we are unique. There's only one David Logan, and there's only one Willie Nicol, right? And we should remember that and celebrate it, right? Following on from that is don't compare yourself with other people. Comparisons are futile and actually negative, right? So if you think that person over there is very confident and you try and compare yourself with that person, it's not going to be helpful. We can often get into a situation where our lack of confidence is based upon a limiting belief we have. The limiting beliefs is a big, big area of coaching, but in simple terms, we don't believe that we can do something, or we don't believe in our ability. We can't do that. I'll not be able to manage that. I'll never be able to get that done, right? So we kind of talk ourselves into not being confident, which is, again, negative and very unhelpful. For a simple solution to that is to tell ourselves, yeah, I can do that. I learned to drive. I learned to ride a bike. I learned to climb a tree. I learned how to use a computer. Right? And now I'm quite confident in those environments. So if I can do it once, I can do it again. But if we continue with that negative talk to ourselves, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, or I'll not be able to, we start to believe it, and that can have a dent in our confidence. Is this making sense so far?
Absolutely. Yes.
Brilliant. So we have a perception about ourselves, and we perceive ourselves and other people in a particular way, which then kind of becomes real to us. So if we perceive ourselves as not being confident, that's going to impact on our level of confidence. Now, it's not just a question of flicking a switch, snapping your fingers, and all of a sudden you go from lack of confidence to being confident. But there are certain things you can do, which again are down to perception and are down to what we tell ourselves. For example, something as simple as standing up straight, putting your shoulders back, your posture. Right? You don't see Greek sculptures slouching. All of these sculptures are upright, commanding, and that's the way that the sculptor made them. So a simple thing is, before you get out in the morning, stand up straight, put your shoulders back, put your chin up. That way you will at least look confident. And if you look confident, there's every chance you'll become confident. And other people will say, oh, there's a confident person, simply by looking at your posture. It also applies to what you say. If you speak confidently, and that sometimes can be a learning thing, that will help you become more confident. Now, the Latin trust, faith, having faith in yourself, trusting in yourself that you're able to do whatever it is, will only serve to boost your confidence. You tell yourself, I can do that. I will do that. I'm going to do that. Now, it might take a couple of goes, but bear in mind there were other situations previously when you felt no confidence at all, but you got through it, you managed it, you succeeded, and you became confident in that environment. Another thing to think about before the finish is celebrate small victories. So when you get something done, celebrate it. I don't mean open the champagne, right? Or maybe celebrate with chocolate, your favourite chocolate bar or whatever it is, right? But when you've achieved something, give yourself a pat on the back. Right? I've done that. I was out of my comfort zone. I wasn't confident. Exactly, right? Be grateful for what confidence you do have, right? You can go online, and I've done it about half an hour ago, and you can find any number of sites about how to boost your confidence, your self-esteem. And go on there, have a look at them. Some things you might think, that's a lot of nonsense. You might think some of the things I've said just now, it's a lot of nonsense. But trust me, it's all down to you, right? You can be as confident as you want to be. There's an old phrase, if it's going to be, it's down to me. So you're the person who's control over your confidence levels, your self-esteem, your self-belief. And if you work at that, lived experience will show you you'll become more confident. So I hope that's been useful.
Very useful. Thank you, Wally. Great topic to pick on today. And thank you for that information. To you, the viewer, if you want more, if you fall in that category, you need to improve your confidence. Speak to Wally. I know him. He's very good. Any comments, drop below. Messages up above.
I will just say to everyone, stay safe, stay well, and remember, have a bit of fun along the way. Goodbye for now.
Before we go, remember, find our channel. Search the Techno Dinosaur meets the IT Geek. The IT Geek is here. Techno Dinosaur is over there. Have a good week, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, keep smiling. Cheers.